Hey, what's up everybody? BDF 44 coming at you with another video. Alright. So I didn't know what I was doing today. I'm all over the place. I think it's just because my body's tired. But initially when I went down to 7-Eleven, I only got half the money out. So I had to make 2 trips to 7-Eleven back and forth. Good news was when I got back, they had a holiday discount that they had applied to my second week. So it was like, I think it came out to be honestly about $60 off. So she let me pocket that amount of money, or the owner, whoever's decision it was. I really appreciated that. So that worked out. Then I was going down and getting on the train after that, and walked all the way down the train, did my Laker video / Piston video, enjoyed the hell out of that. And then after that, got on the train, didn't know where I was going, decided I was going to go to the observatory. And then when I got to where the bus is, you take the bus up to, the guy was taking too long, man. The bus was there, but he was taking him an extra long break. I sat there for like 30 minutes. I was like, you know what, this is ridiculous. Let me just get up out of here. Got back on the train with the intention of going home and realized that I could use some more stuff from Target. And I was like, all right, let me go to the Hollywood Target. Then I realized no, because the Hollywood Target sells the smaller version of what it is that I want to purchase. So let me go to the Hollywood, the Sunset Target. So that's where I'm headed right now. So really not sure what I want to do, but I know I'm exhausted, man. Like extremely exhausted. I don't even know why that is. I told y'all in one of my videos that I slept plenty much last night, but I just feel super lethargic and super old. But I'm still forcing myself to do things. I'm not allowing myself to just sit on the tired. I'm working that out. And so that's what I'm doing right now. Headed down to Target, gonna grab myself some oatmeal. Hopefully they have the bigger size so I don't have to keep buying it every 3 days. Because I bought the little ones that they had at the other Hollywood, but I found out that like a half of that finishes a whole bowl. So in 2 days, you run through a whole tub of that. It's like, nah, that's not enough. Not for how I'm eating these days. This is not enough. So I'm buying some more. Hopefully they have the bigger size. So yeah, man, just trying to make a day out of this thing, man. Trying to legitimately force myself out of this lethargy. And hopefully by the time I get home, I'll feel good enough to do my hundreds. Because right now, all I really feel like doing is getting in bed, man. That's all I really feel like doing. And I've been in bed, so that has to stop. But I tell you, over the last 5 minutes or so getting off of the train, I thought I saw somebody I knew, but unfortunately the person I thought I saw has since passed away. It's bothered me. I saw that person twice. And the sad thing is that I knew that person from over here at Children's Club. My boy Adam Baldazan. Shout out to Jessica Baldazan and the Baldazan crew. Got a lot of love for them. Jessica's on the list, by the way. She's on the prayer list. She's been on there since Adam passed, like 2 Januaries ago. I put her on the list right after that. So yeah, man, I thought I saw Adams twice, bro. And the thing that bothered me was it didn't register to me right away that Adam had passed. I had to remind myself that, like, damn, no, that couldn't have been him, because he's with the Lord now. So it's like, that was real sad. And then you walk a couple steps and see another person look just like him. It's like, what's going on, Adam? Like, why are you popping up, bro? That's what comes to mind. But you know how it goes, man. I'm extra spiritual, so I always feel like something is trying to tell me something when it likely is not even that, but I'm sensing it. So I say a prayer for Adam and for his nephew and his sister and his grandma. I pray that they're all having a fantastic Christmas. And I just saw Jessica online. She had posted his sister. I just saw her post with her husband. That might be why he crossed my mind subconsciously, because I just saw her post about an hour ago. So yeah, man, but that is real, man. I knew Adam from these days when I worked over, or rather was going to school at Children's Club. And Children's Club is like where I'm at right now, a couple blocks away from where I am, as I've shown you guys many times on this camera. So I feel like walking over there just because Adam's on my mind, and because how lethargic I feel I need to walk this lethargy off. All that feeling good, feeling all super exercised and all of that, seemed like that went away in a matter of a week, man. And I feel out of shape. Trying to run up the stairs at the train station didn't have the same vibe. I'm like, what is going on with my body? Why am I? Well, I feel like it's just going out of shape without me actually doing anything to make that happen. I don't know, but might have something to do with some of them dietary issues I've been having. I think that might be what's going on. It might be something I need to go to the doctor about, but I'm having a better week when it comes to that. Haven't had some of those issues this week, but it feels like the result of going through that, coupled with not working out, sent my body in the other direction. And so, yeah, man, that's how I'm feeling right now. Extra lethargic, extra old. But I take this time to walk that off, and I'll double back over here and buy what I need to purchase when I'm done walking over here for no reason at all. But yeah, man, some real interesting stuff there. When you see somebody you know in the, you know, when you're headed to the direction from where you knew them, and you know they're not with you no more. It's very strange stuff. And so, but that's how it goes, man. Nobody's here forever. Unfortunately, Adam, I think he was a couple months older than me. I'm pretty sure he was older. But when you're that age, it's all the same age. It's probably a couple months older, nothing too serious, probably the same age. Or maybe he might have had me by like 8 months or something like that. But he lost his life, heart attack, I think his sister told me it was. Yeah, man. And his passing kind of put me in a position, no thank you. He put me in a position to kind of go into that depression I was in. When his passing took place, coupled with some of the other things that I was going through, kind of sent me into that space that I was in just about 2 years ago when I first started really wanting to be isolated. That was one of the things that kind of sent me there. It was around the same time that was happening, coupled with other stuff that was just like, you know what? I don't want to leave the house, man. And it wasn't like me and Adam were super tight in this era. I hadn't spoke to him in years. But when we were kids, you know, we was running around together a lot. Like, but really little, you know what I mean? When I say really little, I'm talking about like 8, 7, 6. That's when I really was close to Adam. Right? When I was going to children's club and the assistance league, he was one of the ones that I knew from the old assistance league before I even got to children's club. This little place down here, we were in kindergarten together. And he was one of the guys I hung out with a lot at that time. And then we came over to the big club, the children's club, together. I think that's how that went. Along with a bunch of others. We graduated from the elementary school and then ran over to the children's club. So that's kind of how that went. That's exactly how that went. And then knew him all the way through the club years. So I was at the children's club / that place for like 12 years, knew him the whole time. He was there the whole time, probably got kicked out around the same time. We were like 15 years old, so that's how real that is. And after that, I lost touch with him, I'm pretty sure. Probably got back in touch with him on Facebook. But like, that's one of my childhood friends, you know, and we had a lot of collective childhood buddies. But he was one of the ones I knew the longest, him and his sister, because they too went to that preschool, that little place. Before I even got to Cherimoya Avenue School, I was over here with them. That's how long I knew Adam and Jessica and them. And plus Jessica became friends with, not friends, but like, she became cordial, I guess is the word, or acquaintances with my mom away from me, because my mom would run into Jessica at the laundromat that they both used to go to often. She'd run into Jessica every 2 weeks, and they would sit there and talk for a little while. Independent of me, I wouldn't be there with mom. And so she remembers my mom in a different way than a lot of people. So it's just kind of tough, you know. You walk down these streets. These are the streets I used to go walk down the streets with Adam and some of our other friends, some of the people that I haven't seen since, like Santiago. Santiago was a street dude back then. He was in the streets when he was 10 years old, and he would come to the club, you know, the children's club, and he had a lot of issues, man. He was really troubled, man. But I ain't forgot him. My childhood friends, stuff like that. Aura, Simone, all of them. You know, my boy Osiris, my girl Alexis, who we also lost last year, Alexis Calhoun, rest in peace. There's a lot of people we lost over here. Damian Rodney, Miss Willa, who actually lived around the corner over here. She was one of the teachers. That lady used to literally drink Tabasco from the bottle. Watched her do it more than once. And she smoked some heavy cigarettes. She passed away when I was in my ass. freshman year of high school, man. We got that information while I was at Hollywood High. And one of the first couple weeks I was there, Miss Willa had passed away. If I'm not mistaken, she lived in this building right here, or one of these buildings around there, but probably like this one, because my mom and I dropped her off a couple times, and we realized it wasn't nowhere to drive. wasn't no dropping her off. She'd get in the car and roll around the corner, and it would be where she dropped off. But Miss Willa, none of these people, man. Miss Myrna, wonder how Miss Myrna's doing. Mr. Oscar, all these folks, man, because you just remember people, you know what I mean? Mr. Ivan, there's a lot of them. Dr. Wilmore and her daughter, of whom I'm still familiar with, seeing her on Facebook. And, you know, it's awesome to still have friends from that place that I still see that are thriving, doing well. I wish I had in touch with more of them. The Franco sisters, Diana and Barbara, I ain't forgot none of y'all. It's crazy how that goes. But the childhood friends, people that you knew when you were a little kid, you don't forget those people. you really don't, man. Grow up with folks and you ain't seen them in 30 years, but since it was childhood memories and all of that, you just remember these folks. Like my boy Chatri, I ain't forgot Chatri. I ain't forgot Rudy. As I told y'all, Rudy popped up in a dream a couple weeks ago. Old Utah Jazz fan, Rudy. This was back in like 96, back when it was all about Michael Jordan. He just wanted to be a contrarian, so he started being a fan of the Utah Jazz. And all of us, you know what I mean? And then the Lakers ended up getting into it with the Utah Jazz like a year and a half after that. So it was like a segue from him hating on the Bulls to hating on the Lakers because we were getting into it. And then he won. His team won. That was like the beginning of my Laker days, man. And my boy Hike actually put me on to the Lakers, and then later on turned into a Laker hater. It's the strangest thing in the world. The only reason why I even liked the Lakers is because Hike and I had a real conversation about how he loved all the players on the Lakers, and I came home that night and started watching the Lakers and never stopped. Ran the Hike 7-8 years down the road, and he talking about he hate the Lakers. I'm like, how, bro? You put me on to the Lakers. Shout out to Hike. But yeah, it's like I ain't forgot none of these people, man. That's the craziest thing about it. My boy Golden, went to Golden's house for his birthday one time, and they had a real nice condo over there. I ain't forgot none of these people, man. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, this is the area. This is where all of that was going down. I'm walking those streets right now, and of course they look different. This ain't the place it used to be, but it's still home to me, and I really just feel a lot better that I'm over here. Even though I've been back since, obviously you guys have been watching me, I've been back since, but it just feels good to be home, man. Regardless of what it's turned into. It feels good to be home. Of course, my boy Keontae, that's my brother. And, you know, me and him were like peas and carrots, I guess, or whatever you say. I mean, we was tight from 6 all the way up to high school. And it started over here, man. I tell you the truth, and Keontae probably ain't gonna like that I tell this story, but I'm gonna tell it anyway. Me and several others, it was like 4 other kids when Keontae first got to the club. How we got to know Keontae is because we were trying to figure out if he was a girl or boy. We couldn't figure it out because of his hair. His hair was so long, like curly like a girl. We could not tell. We were like 6 or 7 years old, huddled up together trying to figure out if this dude was a guy or a girl. And we sat there, if I'm not mistaken, because it was been obviously 30 plus years, we sat on the stair area and watched to see what bathroom he went into, because we did not know if this guy was a guy or girl. Like, genuinely did not know. Could not tell for nothing. And we didn't know his name, and he first got there, and we were like, who is this dude? Girl-ish. What is this? Who is this? We didn't know. And that's exactly how I got to know my brother Keontae. That's exactly the first experience of knowing this person. Trying to figure out if he was a guy or a girl. And when we found out he was a guy, I was like, all right. And then we got to know him. It was like, oh, this dude tells jokes. He's funny. And that was my best friend for a long time. But yeah, man, that's how that goes. Reminiscing on all these little places, all the stuff that was over here. All of the classes had their own little name, right? So it's Care Bears for the little kids, super kids, right? It's Care Bears, super kids, like Superman, but super kids, unicorns, and Panthers. That's how it was initially. Then they turned between unicorns and Panthers, they turned something into dolphins. They came out with dolphins much later on. But it was Care Bears, Super Kids, Unicorns, and Panthers. And I was able to graduate all the way up to a Panther. And just running around that place, growing up. And this is where the new club was, right here. Those who haven't seen my old video, this is what they turned the new club, which is the club that they made after they got rid of the old club. This is where it was. This is the entrance of that. And now they've turned it into whatever the heck this is. But this is the place that they turned the new club into, probably in like 94, 95 maybe is when they did that. When they gave us the new facility right here. I say 95, I think. And we ended up getting kicked out of there like 2-3 years later. But the old club, I was there from 1989 until that point. And I don't remember where exactly I ended up discovering that the new club, the old club was. I think it was where this Home Depot was, but on the front of this, sort of like where those folks are right there. I got a little bit to the left of them, where I think the old club used to stand. I think that's how that went. On the other side of this area, and they tore all that down. I think that's how that went. Because what this used to be, where Home Depot is, right, that used to be like another field area we used to go to. It was we would leave the club, and say when they wanted to take the kids out, we would go down to the field. And that's exactly what it was. It was just a big old field. They could probably turn it into a baseball diamond or something, but we just run around, sit there, like, kind of just walk around. We didn't really play any games out there, maybe bring a kickball out there or something, but behind it was a big, huge abandoned house, I think. I don't know if it was abandoned or not, but it had a big dog back there. I know that. And so that's what's behind us. So I think the club was like right around the corner. Where this brown wall is, right there, is probably where he was. I think that's what it actually was right there. And don't ask me what was across the street. I honestly don't remember. I couldn't tell you what was over there. I don't remember. But yeah, man, that's what it was, man. This is what it used to be. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the club where it was. That is where it was, I think. I never actually remember, but it's on DeLong Pre and St. Andrews, more or less. But yeah, man, it's good to be back over here reminiscing. I wonder where all my friends are. Some of those folks are going on to have their own lives. My homegirl Leslie. So many of them, man. I don't know how they're doing. I hope they're well, that's for sure. I wonder if they ever come across any of these videos. It's like, oh my God, I knew him from when I was a kid. Yep. And believe it or not, I haven't forgotten a lot of y'all. Some of you, I'm sure I have, though. I'm sure I have forgotten some people, but most of the ones, especially the ones I was close to, nah, let me forget. I ain't forget, In fact, some of that stuff still very much etched in my mind. Unfortunately, some of the worst stuff, like Damien's passing, stands out the most. Look at that. Look at that bad boy. That's a big sucker, too. I don't remember that being around. We didn't have too many rats running around back when I was a kid, but yeah, my boy Damien passed away. That was tough for us all. But a lot of people that I just mentioned, I don't even think they were at the club at that time. They probably got there afterward. But yeah, man, in 93 March, I don't want to mess up the date, but it was March of 1993. And we got the news, and I could not absorb that. I did not absorb that at all. She said Damien died, and I started running my head through as many people as I knew named Damien. It was only one, and I didn't want to believe it. I just didn't want to believe it. I was like, Damien died? Like, for real? Which one? That's what I remember telling her, and she got irritated with me. And I say she, meaning Miss Willa, who was telling us the news. But what she didn't understand is that my little mind had never dealt with no death. I wasn't able to absorb that right away. That didn't sit well with me at all. I wasn't okay at all. My stomach started hurting when she told me that. I said, which one? Who? Which one? She's like, it's only one of them. I'm like, I ain't even absorbing that. But once you start seeing his sister, her name was LaToya, once you start seeing how strong she was handling it, it was kind of hard to mourn the same way. After she came back to the club, like a couple of days after it happened, and she started telling us what she saw, and she had witnessed the whole thing. And seeing her be okay, it was like, well, I can't really crumble now. His own sister's cool. His little sister's fine. So I got to man up. Like, seeing her help me heal a little bit because she was okay. So if she's okay, I got to be okay. That's kind of how that went, man. But that was my first experience with losing anybody, really. Anybody. And I was, what, 9 years old? Yeah, man. Definitely the toughest thing I had went through up until that point. As far as that kind of thing was concerned. Obviously, I had been through my own little bit of trauma, but it wasn't losing a friend. Other than that dog. Other than Dobson, for which I told y'all about. But, yeah, man. Looking back on that, even now, it's like, I got people I love dearly that wasn't even born yet when that happened. But it's still like a tender spot. When you remember how you felt, you know what I mean? When you get that kind of news, you remember how anxious you felt and how devastating that was as a child, you know? Especially when you knew that person was only like 6 months older than you, maybe even less. And he got cut down at 9 years old, or 10 years old. I think he had crossed over to 10 at that point. I was still 9, but he wasn't a year older than me. And so that right there was like, okay, now I understand what pain's about. I hadn't heard people talk about pain, but now I'm sensing it. I feel it myself. This ain't it. And so, I don't know, man. You get to a point where you look back on stuff like that, you're like, okay, well, I got through that. Even as a child, I was able to get through that. And maybe that contributed to some of the reason why I'm isolated in the way that I am. You start going through certain traumas like that, you start putting two and two together. But all in all, man, it was much more good found on this side of town than not. A lot less trauma and more good memories than anything else. And so, yeah, man, now I'm in an area that I shopped a lot of the time when I was a kid, man. But it didn't look nothing like this. It didn't look nothing like this. This is the future. That's where we at right now. Yes, this was a Osco and what else? Warehouse Music. They got a Warehouse shoe store across the street, but it ain't the same company. At least I don't think it is. I'm pretty sure it's not. What else is over here? There's a few places over here. Carl's Jr. right next door to where we are right now. That's where it used to be. And McDonald's, it was across the street. There's so much stuff that you don't see no remnants of, but I still remember. There's a Giant, what was the name of that store where that big, huge, vast construction area is? That was the Giant. That was Rite Aid / Thrifty. That was McDonald's. There's a lot of stuff over there that is no longer, obviously. But Mom and I used to frequent these areas. This, where I'm standing, and that over there, 1.5 million times. She would love coming over here to where I'm at right now for various different things like batteries and to get photos, kind of, what do you call it? Photos, get the Polaroids done. I guess I don't know what you call that. Where this place used to be, we would do that. So, yeah, man. She loved this Carl's Jr. that was here. And so she would get a kick out of what it looks like now. She wouldn't know what she's looking at this place right now, honestly. She would drive past here and not even recognize either side of the street. Nothing around this place looks the same but the street itself. Everything else is like, where am I? Literally, where am I? But you know, this is Hollywood for you, man. Things change, but the memories remain. You feel me? So yeah, I'm here. Time to go get what I need to get, and then go back in to the house, man. Try to see if I got this energy for all the different things that I want to do. Because right now, I just want to fall asleep. But I am glad I came to this side of town, did this video with y'all. My name is BDF 44. Thank y'all for watching. I'm out.